Boy, you know what time it is.
Welcome to the Bromigos podcast.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
All right, what's good, everybody? It is time for another episode of the Bromigos podcast. You know, your boy, the undercover brother. He's starting this one off. He's starting this one off. You know, I got. It's just the two of us this week. What the fuck?
What the fuck? You know, I come back expecting people to fucking be here, and they're not here. And well, Hunter's sick. Where you at, Ding Money, you motherfucker? No, I'm kidding. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna air out grievances. But he ain't here. Hopefully everything's okay. Don't know what the fuck is going on with him. It's your boy Panama Red as well.
Welcome home.
Yeah, here I am. You know, back in the good old US of A. At least it's warmer here than it is in Germany.
Well, from what you've been telling me, it's cold as fuck out there.
Cold as fuck, man. Cold as fuck.
You preach about how much Germany is a cool place. You know, unfortunately, I wasn't here last week, so I wasn't able to properly welcome you home on the first week back. But you know, you've been saying how Germany is such a great place. But man, that climate, I don't know if I can do that, Chief. I don't know if I can do that.
I mean, it's very similar to the weather here in Jersey. It's just, first off, it's Europe, and that part of Europe is just during the winter is gloomy as fuck. Like, oh, shoot me. That's the bad thing about Europe.
It's gloomy here today too. It's fucking raining all day.
I mean, it's raining. I can't see this kind of weather is just depressing. I can't fucking stand it. I just hate it. Like gloomy ass shit weather. Ugh.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But
whatever.
We got a good show for you guys today, though. We have a couple topics. Yeah, it seems like it's just the two of us today, but we usually always have a good conversation. I mean, the last time we were kind of left to our own devices because Hunter left in the middle of the show for something.
Yeah,
you know, we had a good conversation, so let's keep it going this time around. What do you want to start with first, Mike?
Let's talk about this social media shit because there's a lot about it that has been driving me. I mean, so many different facets and layers to it.
Can I start? Because I have a story. I told you a little bit about it before we started recording, but man, y'all know my beef with TikTok. I fucking hate TikTok so much right now, and I'll tell y'all why. Let's start with last week or so. I put out a video, as we all know, a couple of weeks ago, myself, Hunter, Dame Money. We talked a little bit about the whole Andrew Tate arrest situation and kind of turned into a conversation of what is masculinity and, you know, do women who have that bad bitch energy, so to speak. So I took a clip of that and I put it on social media, and I won't give y'all the whole story of what my process is with making videos because that's boring as fuck. But I put the video on TikTok first. And the video was doing relatively well, but almost immediately, they fucking take it down for community guidelines situations.
What?
Hateful ideology was the specific thing they took it down for. All because Andrew Tate, who was in the little thumbnail part of that video, and we barely even mentioned the motherfucker. Honestly, we barely mentioned him. If you've seen the video on our other platforms, it got taken down. So immediately, I mean, keep in mind, I'm in the middle of a bar while this is going on. So I'm drinking and having a good time. And I'm like, oh, shit, now I got to deal with this. So I appeal it. A couple minutes later, the appeal is fine. You know, the video is back up. So obviously, it might not get as many views as I thought it would, because normally something like that, the views don't go as well at TikTok.
Yeah.
And then not even like a day later, I go back on TikTok to see some other stuff on our account, and I find that the video's been taken down again for the same bullshit.
I don't understand TikTok.
That's the thing. I appealed the fucking video. Someone on their end, or if it's a bot or something, determined that, hey, this is not what we thought it was. And now I go back like 12 hours later and find that the fucking TikTok got banned, and because it's like our second offense or some shit like that, we couldn't post for a fucking week on TikTok. Like just this morning was the first time I posted on TikTok in that last week. It's bullshit. Like social media platforms are fucking fickle. and their rules make absolutely no sense.
They don't. You got people talking about fucking each other on TikTok, and they keep that up. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I just find TikTok, social media is like a blessing and a curse, to be honest with you.
Amen.
It's like, so there's a lot of good information. Social media can be entertaining, like TikTok specifically. You have a lot of how-to videos, and there's a lot of people on there that are very informational. Provide like good learning experiences and things like that, right?
And also offers videos for good discussion. You've
Yeah,
sent us a couple videos that we've talked
course.
about in the group chat.
Of course.
And I just don't understand. And the thing that bothers me is just like, again, all because it's just because of Andrew Tate. Like, when you mention Andrew Tate in a video and it's like the whole fucking video gets taken down.
I
Like,
don't
that's
understand what
bullshit.
people's
Dude.
beef with Andrew Tate is, right? So getting into the meat and potatoes of what Andrew Tate says, does he say a lot of things that I don't agree with? Of course.
Yeah,
A lot of
100%.
people say things that I don't agree with. You say things that I don't agree with.
And you say things I don't agree with.
So that's normal. It's normal, and we can have civil discourse. But Andrew Tate also speaks to men being men and providing and stepping up and handle business. And if the girl doesn't like you, fucking go work out and do shit. And
yeah, and
better
to that
version of
point,
yourself.
the biggest thing of his message that I at least like is his self accountability.
Yes.
Like, men don't take enough accountability for
No,
themselves.
bro. Like okay, shorty don't like you. So it's not the end of the world, man. If you're a fucking bigger bone dude, go work out, eat healthy. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what he's saying to you. He's like, first of all, men, we're not entitled to any fucking thing. Don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian. It does not matter. You are not entitled to anything, sir. Right? Especially to women. Women are not an object, okay, regardless of what anyone says. And they are to be respected, even when they don't respect themselves. So, with that being said, bro, you approach a lady, she don't like you because you're a bigger bone dude. You might have bad breath. You might smell under your pits or some shit. Go fix it, bro. And if she don't like you, then even after you fix it, move on to the next one. There are so many. Like, stop getting hung up on these dudes. Be getting mad and doing weird shit because shorty don't like you. Listen. Go check on your mental health. You know what I'm saying? Get that shit checked out. Make sure you're good. Your mommy didn't hug you enough. Okay, cool. That's a real issue. Go get that shit checked out, bro. Doesn't mean the rest of us need to get shot up because you can't figure out you can't work out your inner demons. Therapy. I can't tell you. I know that's like it's starting to become the norm where we talk about these things, right? Therapy.
100%.
Fucking people get therapy. Therapy, it's beautiful. It's freedom, right? I think less people get shot up if more people went to get therapy, bro. It's fucking disgusting. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it in hip hop. I'm sick of it in schools. Bro, did you know I found out something interesting? And it's not interesting. It's quite sad, actually. The leading cause of death of children in the United States of America is guns.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Now it is? How recent was this?
I looked at it like a week and a half ago.
Holy shit. I don't know, in a profession where I am to speak on almost a daily basis, I have almost nothing to say to that.
Yeah.
That actually kind of makes me well up a little bit. That's a real shame.
I was also watching an interview with I believe it's Pierce Morgan and Ben Shapiro. I believe it was an interview.
Oh wow, they did a fucking thing together.
Right, he was interviewing, Ben Shapiro. And Ben Shapiro is one of those gun advocates, right? And he believes that every American should have the right to bear arms. And I'm one of those people that completely disagree. Well, anyway, to his argument, Ben Shapiro said that he believes that every American should have the right to bear arms because we should be able or should have the option to defend ourselves if ever the government decided to become tyrannical.
Yes.
Right? And I find that very laughable if that's your mindset behind it. Because, and hear me out on this one, not for nothing, but the U.S. government has artillery and HIMARS and
Drones.
Like, bro, some dude in fucking Red Bank, New Jersey, with his fucking AR-15 is going to do nothing against the drone, bro. The government has access to nuclear fucking weapons. They have access.
Not to mention trained professionals in the military.
And that's not even putting that, because you know what? What the fuck is some 42-year-old out of shape man gonna do against some fucking 25-year-old Green Beret? He's gonna eat that ass up. He's gonna eat that ass up all day.
There's an old adage that I've heard for a while. Never fuck with a man that can kill you from a different area code.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand it. I don't understand the logic. Like, the US government can fuck you up, bro. We spend more money on defense than our the 10 next allies on the list of people that spend in defense. We spend more than everyone else in the world, right? If the US government decided to fucking screw the people, all you're gonna do is bend over and take it, because you can do what you can do what you want, bro. I'm telling you right now. Even me, 37-year-old me, you line me up with the training that I've had, and you line up even a hunter, right? You give us the same weapon, you allow us to zero our weapons, and you give us targets. First of all, hit a moving target it's not as easy as people think. Number
No,
two,
it isn't.
I have my breath down. I know the trigger. I know how it's trigger squeeze. There's a lot that goes into firing a weapon. It's not just picking it up, bang, bang, I'm going to shoot you. You're an idiot. If someone's 10 feet in front of you, yeah, very easy. But someone's fucking 100 feet away from you, it's not as easy. People don't understand these things. So I get sick and tired. I am genuinely worried about the direction that this country is going. I'm genuinely worried between women trying to define what men is and what masculinity is and what a man should be, to men worrying about body counts of women, to fucking them sexualizing our children and teaching children
to social media creating a greater divide between us. I'm going full circle back to that conversation because I know you still had a lot to say about that.
No. I was working my way back to that point.
Yeah.
It's all of this, and this is the bad side of social media that shows you all of these things that you shouldn't. Like, people, you have a responsibility when you put out information on social media to others. You're spreading your voice, you're spreading the word. And yeah, a lot of this shit is entertainment. You should take it with a grain of salt. But it's worrying. It's very worrying.
It is.
I just don't know what to do with it and how to interpret all of it sometimes.
And I think with the pandemic, and you can tell me if you've seen this at all too. I think with the pandemic, as it was happening, there were people who just primarily lived on social media because they didn't have that physical interaction with people.
Yeah.
And now people don't know how to act because their first reaction like that is to fucking snap on somebody the second they say something that they don't like.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson once said, everybody thinks they're a tough guy until they get punched in the face.
For real.
Imagine saying the shit you say on social media to somebody who potentially has a weapon on them. You say the wrong thing to somebody.
Let me tell you something.
You don't have a second chance to take it back.
As an individual that is about that action, when dudes get to talking this shit, whether I'm playing PlayStation or fucking having or attempting to have civil discourse on the internet, when dudes say shit to me, I'm like, bro, I almost guarantee that you would not say the shit that you're saying to me online in person. Almost guarantee it. One, tough people that are actually tough don't talk like that. Two, bro, I'm 6'2", 250, 270 actually. You're not fucking with me, bro. I put grown men in hospitals. Like, come on, let's be real. You approaching me on some I'm gonna fuck you up shit. You're not. I promise you're not. Now, am I a tough guy and I can whoop everybody? No, I've never been whooped though. So knock on wood, it never happens. I've never been beat up. I've never been knocked out. Actually, I lied. Once when I was trying to box. I picked up boxing as a kid. I was real good. I was whooping everybody until I went into the ring with this tall, skinny fucker. And that tall, skinny fucker laid me out, bro.
And he humbled you real quick, didn't
I
he?
quit boxing. Yeah, I quit.
You quit boxing off of that? Jesus.
I gave it up. I was like, nope,
Jesus.
nope, I'm done. Pineapples. I was done. I was done. No, thank you.
But no, but like that's the thing. Like social media has just completely killed people's ability to have conversations.
Yes.
Really. Because you and not Twitter specifically, I think, has done that to an
Oh.
extent. Because Twitter only allows you so much characters to
Mhm.
form a cohesive thought.
Yeah.
Where yes, you can maybe spread out your thoughts a little bit in multiple tweets. But by the time you get to like that second tweet, there's already somebody complaining about the first
Yeah,
tweet,
yeah, your first tweet.
making a point that you're probably going to make later on in the conversation.
Yep.
People don't fucking think. That's the thing, man. They
Twitter.
really don't fucking think. Twitter, listen, I've been on Twitter since like 2012. That's a God's honest truth. I've been on Twitter for over 10 years at this point because I just thought it was a cool thing to do at the time. But it's afforded me the ability to interact with a lot of people, specifically in like podcasting, the wrestling community. I've met a lot of good people through Twitter that I talk with on a periodically. But man, there are days where just it's the biggest cesspool. It's the biggest
100%.
cesspool. Like especially like during the pandemic 2020, the Black Lives Matter protest. That was the worst place to be on Twitter, man. That was the worst time, I should say. Excuse me.
What'd you say?
I said, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, now you can hear me. I said during the Black Lives Matter protests and the pandemic and everything going on with that in 2020, like that was the worst time to be on Twitter.
Fuck yeah. So, and it was worst time for any social media. Like even before I had come, before I had like came back to the US for a while. It was difficult to watch and listen and read some of the things people were saying. Politics have become so polarizing that especially at that time, especially with it seems every time a new election cycle comes around, another black person gets shot publicly,
or they make it a public thing.
Yeah, it's like wash, rinse, repeat. I swear, it's the same thing.
No, I agree. I noticed the same thing. I noticed the same thing.
Bro. Every time. Trayvon Martin was the same thing. George Floyd, same thing.
What was the guy after Trayvon that died? The guy, the first I Can't Breathe instance.
I don't
the
remember
first
his
time
name.
that came.
It's usually like they'll have one big one that happens, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like Trayvon Martin, then the I Can't Breathe guy, then there was George Floyd, then there was Breonna Taylor, right? It's always like it comes in twos. It's always those two that stand out.
Such a weird omen.
Single, like pay attention to it, right? So
I agree.
The next election cycle that comes around, it'll be the same fucking thing. Some black guy will get shot up. You'll have people in on one side of the media demonizing this person, and then on the other side, they're using that individual as a fucking martyr. When in all reality, there's no reason why the police should be militarized, right? But anyway, to the point, this is and social media then takes all these things, right? What they hear on CNN and what they hear on Fox News and MSNBC and all these other places, and then they spread this information or disinformation, right? Just like the thing with the vaccine, right? They spread all this information like, oh, bro, shut the fuck up. If you don't have the ability to filter in information and then process it intelligently, please don't. Please don't, because all you're doing is sending misinformation to your grandma and grandpa and fucking great aunt and all these other people that don't really aren't up on times, right? And to other people who aren't necessarily as intelligent as you are and can't process these things, right? And all this information then gets put out there, and it's just like, bro, sometimes I read the shit people write, like on Facebook or Twitter, and I'm like,
don't get me started.
Like, what? Did you
do you remember okay, so a couple weeks ago, this is a good example. When the Damar Hamlin situation happened, almost immediately, like 12 hours later, someone starts talking about, oh, it's the vaccine. And then, people who are against the vaccine, they're going to latch on to that, and for a couple of days, or at least throughout that whole process of Damar Hamlin fighting for his fucking life in the hospital, social media created this whole thing that, oh, see, it's the vaccines. He took a hit and then his heart gave out on him because he had the vaccine.
Bro,
now, I don't know if that's true or not, but still, it's almost asinine to
I
fucking come to that.
I don't like when people associate things like that, because you know what? There are adverse reactions to everything. It doesn't matter what you take, what kind of medication you take, right? If you're afraid of having any form of adverse like reaction to taking medication, whether it be prescribed or over the counter, don't take any. Because that's why when you see these commercials, may cause anal leakage. Like, come on, bro. Like this stuff is just out there. Like, for everything that you take, it can cause tumors and all this because it's not natural. It doesn't come from the earth. So therefore, you're gonna have even shit that is natural and comes from the earth. You can still have adverse reactions to it. So you know what? If you're afraid of the foot, don't take it. But don't shit on other people for wanting to do what they want with their bodies. Same fucking thing. You don't want anyone to shit on your opinion of not taking the fucking vaccine. Then don't shit on someone's opinion to take it. That's their fucking prerogative. Eat a dick.
You mentioned a little something about prescriptions, drugs, things of that nature.
Yeah.
You have a topic. I think this is a good segue that because you have a topic that's interesting for me
Yeah.
to say the least to talk about, and that is, should all drugs be legalized?
Should they?
I'd like to know what. First of all, I'd like to know what inspired this thought, because I'm genuinely curious. Because I know we've talked about this publicly. You smoke weed, you have PTSD, you do what you do, and I know plenty of people who are like you that do that.
So, for those who don't know, I'm Panama Red, and I'm a marijuana user.
Hi, Panama Red.
So I believe that marijuana has had a negative stigma for far too long. I believe that there are a lot of benefits to smoking weed that you don't get, or that help you more than prescription drugs will. Like when I was given Xanax and Zoloft and all those things, and I felt
Did the VA give that to you?
Yes.
Okay.
And I felt numb. Like I had zero emotions. Like it was more like I think zombie state would be an exaggeration. It was more like I just didn't have any emotions. I didn't really feel joy, or really didn't feel
You didn't give a
sadness.
fuck. You kind of
No,
just walked
I
around.
straight
You
up and
kind of
down
walk around with like a droopy face, like this,
which
sort of like how I look right
was
now.
like stoic. Like
yeah,
it was
stoic. Yeah.
like it was, in my opinion, probably worse for me and for the people around me. Because if I'm not experiencing any emotions, then I just don't give a fuck. Then your life is of little value to me. So even though it was hard to experience anger, like I'd crush you when I think of twice about it. Versus I smoke my pot. I feel good. I feel clarity. I get to get in my little zone. I get to just sort out my thoughts because things slow down. Even for example, video games are so much better for me when I'm high.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
shit slows down for me. Like I'm in the zone. I'm good. I'm good.
Like what was it? When me, Dane, were at your apartment last year, a couple months ago now.
Yeah.
You were, artistically rolling this joint, like in a way that I've never seen before. It's like almost like you were already high, zoned in, rolling this joint. I've never seen a joint rolled with so much precision and accuracy and just care.
Yeah.
And you're smoking that shit, right? And we're playing NBA 2K, and you're just smashing me. Like
Yeah.
I'm like frantic as fuck, and you're just in the zone, like with LeBron. Like I'm a dunk on this white boy.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, you're chilling.
That's all it is. So I personally believe, right? Maybe not. I don't believe that every drug should be legal. Because there are drugs that absolutely just destroy lives. And I don't
like
think
crack,
and there are also
cocaine,
people,
heroin.
yeah, but there's also people with who have addiction issues, like people who are easily addicted to things. Like I'm not the one of those people that gets addicted to something easily. I think if anything, the only thing I have ever been addicted to is like sex. Like that's really that's my addiction.
If that's the worst addiction that any of us have, that's not a
Yeah,
bad
it's,
addiction.
yeah.
Sure, that could be harmful too in its own way, but it's
Yeah.
not a bad addiction to
No,
have,
it's
ladies
not.
and gentlemen.
It's better than fucking going to the gym. You get the same amount of exercise. You do. You do. Plus all the serotonin levels in your are accelerated. Like it's good for you. Scientific fact. Look it up.
I will have to because I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I guess if there's studies
Man,
behind it, I'll take your word
telling
for it. You've read into it more than
you,
I have.
my man. But so there are also people that probably shouldn't do these things. Like for example, cocaine. Right? I've done cocaine before.
Really? What was your experience like?
So cocaine is a hell of a drug, like they say. It is a hell of a drug.
That's not the first time that's been said.
It really is. My issue with it is that it brings you to the highest of highs and then it just drops you like a sack of bricks. Like it's just like a sack of potatoes, man. It just you that's what and that was like it and then it made sense to me like, oh, this is why you keep seeing them do the bumps so they can stay high because the high is amazing. It's a really good high. Like I enjoyed it. It was energy. I felt like Superman, like I could run through a brick wall. I was having a good time. I was like, yeah, having a great ass time. And then it dropped me, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrible!" Like the low is shitty. It was same thing with like ecstasy. Ecstasy is probably the most amazing drug I have ever tried. Everything feels amazing. It feels great, and you know what? I should be able to experience that when I want to. The problem is people get addicted to that feeling, right? And it kills you because you take too much of it and you want that constant high all the time.
Can I make a point on something? And you might disagree with me on this, but that's fine.
Go ahead.
I agree with what you say with things like marijuana. Marijuana should be legalized and it should be used to care for ailments like PTSD, mental health, and things of that nature. It's from the earth. We should be able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree though with the fact that, and again, I've never smoked or done a drug a day in my life, and the most I've ever done is alcohol. If you consider that a drug,
It is.
fair. So I don't necessarily disagree with the statement that marijuana could be used as a gateway drug for other things because at some point people are going to be like, or at least not all the time, but in some cases, people who get that addictive personality, they're going to be like, oh, this isn't hitting for me as much anymore. Let's try crack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they're going to look for new ways to find that high, and then it's just going to become a self-destructive cycle.
Well, that has less to do with the drug and more to do with the addictive personality that.
Yeah, exactly. There's arguments for both sides of that, I think, and there's different branches of that argument. But I don't know. It's just something to think about. Like again, I agree with your point. I just think that there's potential there for it to be that kind of gateway sort of thing. And
Well,
people have been saying that forever, but
my rebuttal to your statement would then be, what about alcohol then? More people die from alcohol than drugs, period. Right? More, except for probably the fentanyl, because we have a fentanyl epidemic currently, and fentanyl is just really destroying people. But
and how the fuck is it even? How is it everywhere? That's the thing. Like we talk about how we joke with me and Fox News, but like because I have no choice but to watch Fox News in my house, that's really a lot of the time. That's all they talk about. Where it's like the whole
yeah, I mean,
like, how the fuck is it everywhere? Who the fuck is doing this?
I don't know. And whoever's doing it, listen, you bro, real shit. You out there selling that shit, fuck you, bro. That shit is killing, like a one-hit death. Like it is destroying people. But anyway, people drink alcohol and do the most obnoxious shit.
Yes.
People get behind the wheel of a car and drive and kill people. People develop an alcohol addiction to where alcohol destroys families, bro. But it's legal. It is legal, and it's left up to the individual to decide how much of this drug do I want to consume, right? You can go to a bar and you can drink to your heart's content if that bartender really doesn't give a shit about you. Drink to your heart's content. You can go to a liquor store, buy as many bottles as you want, and drink to your heart's content. So why is it, if that's okay, why can't people just buy as many drugs as they want? Same thing. It's literally the same thing.
Same concept. You're right. I see that.
Yeah. The argument is the same. You present substance A and substance B. Why can't they just go get substance B as much as they want? Substance A is legal and it's been legal for decades now. Why is it any different with drugs? We have prescription drugs that doctors give you. You can literally get addicted to Percocets. I started to do when I was
Oxys
in the
too.
army. Yeah, you can develop an addiction to that. I started to. I was given oxys and perks when I was in the army for my back because I was at one point I couldn't do anything because I was in so much pain, and they were giving me all type of muscle relaxers and pain relievers. And I remember I got to a point where when I realized it started getting bad was that I was taking this medication and drinking Jack to it, right? And it was putting me in. I
You're
mean,
insane.
oh, it was putting me in such a sweet spot, bro. And
I
then
bet, but that is a horrible mix that you're
I
causing right there.
realized, like, holy shit, I'm developing a problem. So I went to the fucking to my PA and I was like, listen, um, I can't do this. Like, I'm developing addiction. Like, just leave me on ibuprofen and I'll have to tough it out because this ain't it. So, and I'm just one of those people that I am not easily controlled by anything.
Mhm.
So that, like, even my PTSD, I hate the fact that it dominates me so much sometimes because it's like it's crippling at times, depending on whatever I'm doing. I have moments where I can't, like New Year's Eve. I used to love fireworks. I used to love
Oh,
going in. I can't even, like, New Year's Eve. I'll put it out there for the people. I was in my room, full panic, dripping sweat because I couldn't handle it. I have no weed, no nothing to chill me out, and I was in Germany by myself. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't go out, and I was in my Airbnb by myself, just suffering through that.
that's a shame.
And I'm of the belief that if I had some weed, I would have been all right. I didn't
I
have any
can see
moment.
that point.
I would have been straight. But you know what? There it's so my point is I'm not crippled by I'm like nothing dominates me. Nothing really, like, I'm not addicted to anything, right? I don't have that person I've started and stopped smoking cigarettes many times. This is now the longest I've gone. I think it's been 4 years that I haven't smoked.
A
Um,
cigarette?
yeah.
Wow. Now when you would do these, how often did you do it? Like, did you do like one every couple of months and then quit, or was it like a
No, so
long term thing?
cigarettes was like a long-term thing. Cigarettes was
Okay.
like I wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, have my cigarette. Anytime I can go get a lunch break, have a cigarette. Anytime I get a break, have a cigarette. In Afghanistan, oof. Or if I went out partying, I'd buy a pack of cigarettes before I went out partying. And within a couple hours, gone.
And you were in Europe when this happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can understand that though because everybody smokes in Europe, or at least a lot of people do. It's probably more so that it happened here.
Oh, yes, they smoke everywhere. It's fucking disgusting.
Exactly. It is disgusting. I fucking hate the smell of cigarette
Me
smoke, but
too. I'm like, how the fuck did I do that for so long? Oh my
like
god.
it's like it gets like all in your clothes and shit. Like, oh,
Yes, like,
terrible, terrible.
and it stings so much.
Ugh. I truly wonder. Now, obviously, I'm sure they know the health issues with that caused that by
Of
now, right?
course.
Like medical advancements have shown that cigarettes do a lot of harm, and yet for some reason, while we're
Illegal.
trying to end it here, it seems like Europe does not give a flying fuck what we
Well,
have to say
Europe
in
is
that
Europe.
regard.
And I'm not going to speak on Europe. I just find it interesting that all these other drugs are that, like, let's narrow it down. Weed is not killing anyone. It's not.
No,
No one has died from it. People die from alcohol. They die from cigarettes. But these two are legal. Addictive. They talk about the addiction. The people like to speak on the possible addiction that one could develop to marijuana. Right? Still, it's it's been
or the addictions that happen because
yeah,
they take
but
marijuana. Yeah,
alcohol is proven to be addictive. Cigarettes, 1000% has proven to be addictive, yet they're both legal. Make it make sense. Bruh. Make it make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense to me. It never has, and it never will. It never will. If out of all the drugs that one can possibly use, There are two that I believe. Mushrooms should be legal and marijuana should be legal. Should be.
How come mushrooms aren't though? That's the thing. Like I've always wondered, like, why is that not the case that
Bro,
mushrooms aren't legal?
everyone has a different experience with mushrooms, right? And my actual experience, the first time I had mushrooms, I was in Amsterdam, and
Of course, it was Amsterdam. Of all fucking places in the world, it's Amsterdam, Netherlands. Come on.
love that fucking country, love that city, man.
It's
But
probably the red light district too.
no, I've never gone to the red light in Amsterdam.
Sure, you haven't.
No. Listen. I've been to many red lights in Germany. I've never been to the red light in Amsterdam. Never. It's open. It's like everybody sees you. Like it's weird. But so I was with a group of friends and an ex-girlfriend, and we sat in a coffee shop for like 3 hours. And then afterwards, one of the guys I was with, he's like, "Oh, you guys want to try some mushrooms?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? I've never tried it before. Fuck it, let's do it." So we get some. We get back to our Airbnb, and everybody pops a cap. So for
What do
me,
they taste like initially?
it
Sorry to
tastes like
cut you off.
absolute shit. Like it tastes
That's
like
what I thought.
shit. Like
That's what I would think. Yeah.
it was disgusting. And I had
Continue.
like two because I wanted the full. I wanted the fucking hit me. So
You're insane. You're
I
insane.
am. So I'm having so when it finally kicks in, I'm already high and I'm chilling from the weed, and then the effects of the shroom kick in, and it's like for me specifically, it was only like I started to see like stars, and everything got like hazy and foggy and tranquil. It was just very chill, and then the lights got dimmer but brighter. I don't know how to explain it. It was such a weird experience, but it was like peaceful. For me, it was just like chill. And I think it had a lot to do possibly with the fact that I was, spent like 3 hours smoking weed. Like I was good.
Oh, so you had already smoked weed before you had
Yeah,
done
I
this.
smoked weed before. I was high already from
Oh
the weed.
shit.
And then I took the mushrooms because I was just a wild boy. Like
Now, was that the only time you'd ever take mushrooms?
yes, that's the only
Do
time.
you think if you weren't high from the weed, you would have a different experience?
Possibly.
I'd like to test that one day.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm always
test
down.
that one day.
I'm not afraid of mushrooms. I won't do other shit like I know I said I don't easily get addicted to things, but I would never try heroin. I would never flirt with that one. Heroin is just I wouldn't ever do crack. Crack ruined my father's life. My father spent a lot of time in jail over crack and shit.
Dealing or taking?
Taking. From what I hear from my family, my father was a very put together dude. He worked at a bank. He was very well put together. Yeah, and then
Wow.
drugs destroyed everything.
This kind of is a callback to the one conversation we had weeks ago about the whole, selling drugs in the hood to get out of the hood, but the effects it has on other people.
Yeah. I've
I,
been
I,
personally
wow.
affected by it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Thank you for talking about that. Wow. Holy shit.
So
Dude.
that's why when I give my opinion on drugs, they're genuine because I literally spent a lifetime without my father because of it.
Is he out now? If that's okay to ask.
My father's out now. He lives in Pennsylvania. I haven't spoken to the man in years, and that has nothing to do with him not being there throughout my childhood and more of shit that he's done as an adult. Father's an idiot, but that's a whole nother conversation.
We're not gonna we're not getting into childhood trauma.
Nah, we
this is not a therapy session.
No, this ain't therapy, motherfuckers. Y'all calm down. No Panama Red therapy session. But no, I just feel like certain people. The problem is, I know a rebuttal to my argument would be, well, not everyone is you, Panama, and not everyone can, make sound decisions when it comes to drugs. And like, okay, fine, then we should have the same approach for alcohol. We should. Alcohol literally kills people. Alcohol itself can kill you if you drink too much of it. And then alcohol can cause you to kill someone when people get domestic violence because of alcohol, murder because of alcohol, assault because of alcohol. like vehicular homicide because of alcohol, like all these things that causes people to do shit because of alcohol, yet it's legal.
It's
So it's like,
wild. I mean, I know someone that's a cop, and I've heard stories from him that involve alcohol and domestic violence. It's rough, man. I would hate to be a child in that sort of environment.
yeah,
It's crazy.
this is
Crazy.
why and there's no argument that anyone can present to me as to why at the minimum why marijuana shouldn't be legal. There's no reason why anyone can tell me.
Well, the good news is that it's slowly becoming more and more legal.
It should be already. It's 2023.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, we should be lucky that just last year New Jersey legalized it.
I think if I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's not legal because of pharmaceutical companies, because of the medicinal properties that
I don't
marijuana
disagree.
has. I think pharmaceutical companies are the ones intervening as to why it's not a thing.
Because
Why
they're not making money off of it. That's why.
no? And you know what? Fuck the pharmaceutical companies. Fuck these people. Like, bro, there's no reason why you should be having to pay like fucking over $100 for some insulin, bro, because you're diabetic. There's no reason. This country's ass backwards. I swear to God. And I hate talking shit about America because I love my country. I've defended my country. I love it. I love it. But yo, there's things about this country that make me want to rise up and get the fuck out of here.
You might be doing that.
Yeah, because, bro, it's wild. It's wild. How much, like, why should you have to be paying like a down payment on a house to have a child in this country? Like, it's, bro.
I was thinking about this the other day, and you know what? There's a chance that as much as I would want to be a father in the future, with the way the financial world is now, at least my own financial deal, there might be a chance that I can never really afford to have kids.
Yes,
because the lifestyle that I've not really the lifestyle, but the profession I've chose to be a part of doesn't necessarily pay a whole lot anymore the way it used to.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. And
Yeah.
that's why I got to just keep grinding. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, last week you mentioned the interview, and I appreciate the kind words on that. Like, that's like my goal is to eventually be financially sufficient to have like a marriage, to have like a house or an apartment, to have kids in the future.
Mhm.
And the more we talk about things like this, the more I think that may not be attainable. And some people will say, oh, why don't you just switch professions? I'm not really good at anything else. That's what I worry about. Like, I'm not the type of guy to sit at a 9 to 5 all day.
Yeah.
And lament about what could have been about their lives.
Yeah.
Like, at least with things like podcasting and radio and broadcasting in general, I feel free.
Mm-hmm.
I feel free to do the things I want to do, and I'll grind at it until it, I shouldn't say this and you'll probably lecture me about it, but I'll grind at it until it kills me, for Christ's sake. Because that's the only way. That's the only way I feel like I could be successful, is just keep grinding at it. Like, I haven't stopped. Like, for instance, I got this freelance contract for voiceover for a audiobook, and I've literally been sitting in front of my computer for the last 3 days, fucking getting it done, doing nothing else other than podcasting work. That's it. It's tiring and it's stressful, but god damn it, it's fun, man. It's really fucking fun.
Of course. I listen. I am one to tell people to follow their dreams. This is a dream of yours. It's what you've wanted to do for a long time. Fucking do it. There's nothing wrong with chasing what you want to do. The problem is getting a livable wage in this damn country. That's a problem.
Yeah, you talked. I'm. It's a real shame I wasn't here for the episode last week, because we talked about a lot of good things I wish I could have talked about with you. But you're right. Like, the whole, what was it? The 20 something odd dollars, that $27 for a livable wage. Like, there's no way we'll ever fucking get to that. No way.
No.
The government wouldn't even allow shit like that.
No.
The government will say, oh, there should be a higher wage in this country. They'll raise it up 50 cents.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do. They won't fucking do what you really want.
And I'm not one that believes that we all should be wealthy, right? Because that's just unrealistic from a societal standpoint. Because if everyone is wealthy, who cleans your toilets?
There's a pecking order.
Who's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there has to be a pecking order and things like that.
And
no one should ever have to be in jobs like cleaning toilets, janitorial work,
but
maintenance.
it's a necessity. It's a
necessity, but there has to be levels to it to make it at least somewhat of a livable thing.
I think the thing is people should, so if you're not going to pay people $27 an hour, lower the cost of living. I am a firm believer that in certain aspects of our lives that the government should intervene as far as dictating, you know what, put a cap on the housing market and how much it costs, right? And if you want to live in luxury, then you raise that accordingly. But there should be a set for the lower and middle classes, right? There should be a cap into how much a place costs and how much, and if you got to do something because
exactly. Like for instance, you've seen my neighborhood, you've seen the houses that are there.
Yes.
What was it?
Matt's pappy got money.
No, not at all.
Matt's pappy got money.
Listen, my house is nice, but it's not a fucking mansion, but it's nice. But there are houses that are in my neighborhood that are like 900, they're like upwards of 900 something $1,000. And some of them are kind of small. Some of them, and I don't know exactly what everything's offered in every particular house, but there's one house that just went up on the market that's like 960 something thousand.
Wild.
It's wild. Like, who the fuck can afford that? Yep. Unless you take out a mortgage or some shit like that, you know?
Yep. And that is a direct result of these fucking boomers. Our current situation is all due to boomers, right? They want to talk about we don't have an entrepreneurial spirit and we don't want to work.
That's a lie.
Bullshit.
That's a lie. There are more young or at least entrepreneurial minded people in, say, our age range, like 20s and 30s, than I'd say there were fucking 50 years ago.
Yes.
Everybody wants a bag nowadays.
Of course.
Everybody wants a bag. We want a bag with this fucking show. We're trying to fucking create an entrepreneurial opportunity for us with the fucking show.
These boomers have created a system to where the system takes care of them, right? The system is going to continue to take care of them. This is why I will repeat this as many times as I can. We need to get these old fuckers out of office. Everybody, if you're above the age of 70, get the fuck out of office. What the fuck? What the hell does Nancy Pelosi know about the people? Real shit.
She's fucking 80-something years old. She just retired, thank fucking Christ. But
what does she know about the people? Right? Put limits, put caps on these people, put term limits, right? You can serve, I'd say, what's good? 30 years? 30 years sounds good. 30 years is long enough to make a difference in your country. 30 years.
Yeah.
Right? Even 40. Let's go 40. 40 years. Fine. You get into politics. Let's say you become senator. What I think is a reasonable age? I personally think, well, maybe 25, 30, right? So 30 plus 40, 70. Done. Get them fuck out. 70 is the age limit. If you got into it late, hey, tough cookie.
You get 25.
Yeah.
You get 25 years if you got into it late.
That's it, bro. Because I'm sorry, after a certain age, you're out of touch with reality, and your thought process and the way you grew up and the things that you're influenced by are now ancient, right? Because you know what? People whose grandpappies and great granddaddies are still fucking saying niggers, right? And they don't know better. They don't know better. Shut the fuck up. They know better. They knew better back then too. They were taught to know better. But you know what? That way of thinking is old and no longer the norm in society.
There are people probably in government, definitely in government. What am I saying?
100%.
That were around during the civil rights movement.
100%.
They shouldn't have to say that.
Nancy Pelosi was around.
That bitch was around when fucking JFK got assassinated. That's how old she is.
Yes, she was in politics.
I saw a photo. Dude, I didn't realize she was that fucking old. I was like, there was a photo of her when she was like 16
this is what
or
I'm
something.
Saying.
I was like,
what the fuck does
I didn't realize she was that fucking old.
That's what I'm saying, bro. What the fuck does this crypt keeper looking bitch know about the times? You know what I'm saying?
Not a goddamn thing. If you were old enough to remember JFK getting assassinated, you should not be in office.
There. She saw it live and in color, probably.
fucking
In
sitting in
politics.
Dallas, Texas, in the crowd.
You know what I'm saying? This Tales from the Crypt looking asshole. Get her the fuck out. Get her out.
Amen.
Joe Biden, get him out.
Oh, well, he should have been out forever ago.
Yo, this dude
You know,
looks so frail, bro. Get him
Dude.
out.
I will listen. I rail Biden a lot, but I will say this much, and I'm not sure. And I saw something that there was a bill that he signed today that I'm shocked wasn't in law already. That they finally banned shark finning in the United States.
Dude, man, what now?
Shark finning.
Shark finning. What is that? Taking
like, okay, I've
the fin off a shark.
Taking fins off the shark and leaving them there to die because they don't have any fins to swim and all that shit. I'm a big shark advocate. I watch Shark Week every year. It's my big thing. We finally did that. Shark Week's been on for fucking 30 years talking about things like this, and they finally fucking signed it into law. Took them long enough.
People legit just go out and hunt sharks and then cut the fins off them?
Shark fin soup. It's a fucking Asian delicacy. I swear to God. Look it up.
And then they don't kill the shark. They leave the shark.
No, the shark's alive. The shark is alive. It will die because it can't get food because it can't swim. But it will
they
die.
don't even kill the thing?
No, they don't kill it. Most of the time, they don't anyway.
Oh my! What the fuck is wrong with people, bro? This is why we ain't shit as a whole. This world, just they need to go ahead and find the next world and send me to it.
Listen, as much as if Elon Musk is gonna fucking promise anything, send us to Mars, man.
You know, send me somewhere with some just logical fucking people because god damn.
Send me somewhere with some big booty alien bitches, man.
Oh my god.
Clap alien cheeks. Remember Area 51, that whole thing? Let's everyone clap alien cheeks. We should be fucking looking for extraterrestrials to fucking move in with and, integrate with, like Star Wars.
Star Wars pussy sounds good.
See, now you and I are thinking the same thing now. See?
Ew, wow.
It's possible. It's possible. It's canonically possible.
Star Wars coochie.
You have anything else you'd like to talk about before we wrap up, Mike?
Anything else?
We talked about a lot of serious shit today, so I want to lighten it up a little bit.
Kanye West is married.
Yeah, again, somehow.
Kanye West is married.
While you're talking about that, let me find the fucking
How in the someone please, when y'all hear this, please go on social media, on our socials, right? We'll give it to you at the end. And tell me, Panama Red, you can at me. First of all, the motherfucker fine. Even though
let me zoom in on this a little bit.
She got more. A fake
that's not what I wanted.
It looked like she got a fake she got a what's that shit? A BDL?
Maybe.
BBL. There you go. That's what that shit's called. But anyway, how the hell Kanye got another woman? Somebody explain this to me.
Dude, she's so bad.
I mean,
she's so bad. She looked, you know what it is? You know what? I think I figured it out. I figured it out. She looks like Kim.
She does look like Kim.
She looks a lot like Kim, Mike.
Or does look a lot
if I didn't know any better, I would have thought this was Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, that picture right there.
Which one? Tell me.
The one that you have, the largest one that's up.
Yeah. She looks a lot like Kim in that photo, man.
A lot like Kim. But who the fuck is trying to? I mean, he's getting married because he's Kanye fucking West. Kanye to the, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I get it. But with all the things that he be saying and doing, and I'm just not a big Kanye fan at the moment. I will forever like the College Dropout. That'll be my favorite album forever. But like, look at this. What is this? Go down.
Which one?
Middle, like kind of in the middle, all the way at the bottom, where there's like, looks like Kim. That like
this one.
That picture. Yeah.
Oh,
look at these right here. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Ding, 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 ding. I think I was right.
And he went and found himself a Kim Kardashian lookalike.
I swear to God, it's a Kim fetish, dude. It's a Kim fetish.
I would call that a fetish.
I don't know.
He was married to the woman. I wouldn't call that a fetish. I would call that.
Yeah, but he was also fucking obsessed with her when Pete Davidson was banging her.
Well, bro, that's his ex-wife and they were married. They have children together. I won't say that that's an obsession. I think Kanye deals with his emotions in an unhealthy way.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's all it is. I would never call that an obsession. I think that's unfair to call it
Words are hard.
I think that's unfair to call that an obsession with someone who was his ex-wife. I think, right? Kanye doesn't know how to deal with his marriage failing, and therefore he is lashing out and doing a bunch of stupidity.
Now, here's something I mentioned before we started recording. This woman, apparently she worked with him in some capacity. I don't remember the exact title she had.
The designer on Yeezy, I believe.
Yes, I think that's what it was. Now you mentioned that. She knows the shit that he said in recent interviews. She knows his net worth is fucking dropped significantly since that whole thing went down a couple months ago. So I'm sitting here thinking, do they really feel the way they feel about each other? Or is there an ulterior motive to this?
I mean, given the fact that they don't have any history that I'm aware of, other than her being a designer on Yeezy, unless he was cheating or speaking to her prior to while he was married to Kim, it doesn't make sense to me why he would marry her like immediately.
Yeah,
This
it
is out
was
of
it was
nowhere.
quick too. Like it was
Yeah.
like that.
So it makes me question both of their motives. Like, what's the motive behind this? Unless there's some bigger scheme that Kanye's coming up with, because he's not a complete and total buffoon. Like, obviously, he's a
I don't
music.
know. I don't know about that.
He's not bro. He wouldn't have gotten to the success of where he's at if he was a complete and total buffoon. Like, let's be real.
Fair point. Fair point. Okay.
He said a lot of idiotic things, but give credit where credit's due. Kanye is self-made. Right, he's made things himself. He's taken advantage of every opportunity that's been given to him. He's fucked it all up in the past couple months, but whatever. You give him credit where it's due. He's worked his ass off to get to where he's been. But I just don't understand the big picture, looking at the entire thing. Who is this broad, and how did she come to be your wife? Like, you know what? But then at the same time, it's not my fucking business, and I truly don't really care. I just think she got some nice 32-year-old titties. So it look like they're a little droopy, probably because they're large. Whatever, that happens with age.
Listen,
gravity.
I call myself Motorboat and Matt on my other show. Totally would get in between those, and
Of course you would.
Yeah,
you are a breast man. Of course you would.
Of course I am.
I am not.
Hey, but here's the thing, though. I like both, but I like proportion between each.
No, you can have some A's, as long as that booty is big. I do not care. Big booty.
Mike's finna eat the booty like groceries.
Like fucking groceries. Straight from Trader Joe's groceries.
Trader Joe's.
Yum, 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 yum.
Random question. Which is better, Trader Joe's or Wegmans?
Depends what I'm getting. Overall, I'd say Trader Joe's. Like I buy my short rib meat from Wegmans. I buy my ribeye steaks from Wegmans because they have nice.
How much is that shit? You know what? Here's one thing we can talk about really quick. The fucking cost of things are getting out of fucking bounds.
Oh, bro, listen,
dude, what's the shit I've been seeing about eggs? Eggs out the fucking wazoo.
Oh,
come on,
God. It's just it just costs so much, bro. It costs a lot to eat healthy. Fuck it. It costs a lot. Even this is why I'm glad I'm taking the fast food hiatus, because it costs so much to even do that. To get some fast food, they don't. I forget who I was talking about, having this conversation with. But we were talking about the cost. There's like not even a dollar menu anymore. Fast food places don't have dollar menus. Do you remember that? That was a thing.
Yeah. No. Now you know what? Now that you mentioned that, yeah. They have meal menus, like, I'll take a number 2 or number 4 or shit like that.
And then they have items like you can get, I think they call it a value menu now, right? Where you can get specific items for like $1.20, $1.30, whatever the fuck it costs now. But they don't even have dollar menus. Like, what happened? What happened? I remember when my mom used to pay for gas $5 a gallon. No, not 5. She put 5 regular in her car and fill that bitch up. Like, what happened? What happened?
Used to cost me $20 to fucking fill up my car. Now it's like $25 to $29 to fill up half a tank.
$34 I filled up my tank for the other day.
No. How much was it? Fully gone, or was it like halfway?
It was on pretty much. The light came on.
Okay. See, I fill up like a quarter to half a tank, and it's costing me like $25 for my car.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
It's terrible. Well, people. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Bromigos podcast. Unfortunately, all of us weren't here today, but I hope we were able to entertain you and inspire thoughts and fuckery and all that other beautiful stuff that comes along with listening to our wild and crazy podcast.
I will say this much to the people that are still listening up to this point. If you want to provide feedback for the show, please leave us feedback. Send us a fucking tweet. I'll get to the socials in a second. Send us a tweet. Leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. That'll give us a better idea of how we want to improve the show going forward, because there's a lot of things going into this year that we want to do for the show, and we can't do that without your feedback. So please leave that feedback. Reach out to us. It would mean the world so that we can achieve what we want to achieve with this show this year. Sure. So, on that note, follow us on Twitter at Bromigos Pod, Instagram, The Bromigos Pod, TikTok, you fucking bums, The Bromigos Podcast. And of course, shout out to Full Swap Radio. They syndicate our show every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, I know Dante's not here today, so do you want to tell the people about the YouTube, or would you like
Listen, I know y'all got time. When you're sitting on the toilet, fiddling with your little pee-pee, while you're in the mirror, fixing your eyebrows, you know what I'm saying? When you're cooking that unseasoned chicken, turn on the YouTube and watch us live and in color. We're beautiful. We're here for you. Fucking watch us and subscribe and like it too while you're at it. God damn it. You better like and subscribe.
Video podcasts available every Wednesday, somewhere between 12 and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, you can find all these links on our link trees on every social media platform that we're a part of. One more thing, Mike. Go Giants. Let's go, baby.
We're not even going to address that shit. Bro, you know what? Jail. Fuck that.
I missed that sound.
Fuck that.
Hey, all I will say is this. May the best man this weekend.
You see what I'm wearing, bro. You see it.
I know. That's why I can't.
Look at this. You see it.
I see it.
It's lit. We lit all day, baby. Fly Eagles fly, baby.
Listen, if we win on or was it Saturday or Sunday we're playing? Saturday. If we're winning on if we win on Saturday,
I'm not coming. I won't be here Thursday.
Are you serious? Or are you actually going to be upset?
No, I just won't be here to listen to your fucking dribble if you guys win, which I highly doubt.
Now, I think about it like this. We had the first game that we played this year was a blowout. That was a given. The second time, even with our backups, it was a relatively competitive game. Yeah. I think this time it's probably going to be the most competitive that we've played for both sides all year. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, and I think it'll be closer than we both will give it credit for. What do you think about that?
Honest assessment here. I think your quarterback isn't as good. I think I worry about the running game because Saquon that dude's a stud, bro. Like
this is the best I've ever seen him play, and that's because he's actually been healthy this year.
And I worry because the last couple games, my defense hasn't been as solid as it was throughout the majority of the season, and our run defense seems to be non-existent currently. I'm hoping that a bye week has gotten people healthier, and they've had time to get into the film room and the weight room, and just get right and prepared because you know what. This it's playoffs, but it's like a divisional game. And anything can happen when the Giants meet the Eagles. I just find it difficult because we're at home, hostile environment. It'll be a big win for you guys if you do, because you guys are playing with house money. You shouldn't even be here.
No, we should. I think we should. We should be. We're much better than a lot of the fucking teams that did make it. For instance, Dante's not here, so I'm going to slander Tom Brady. Tom Brady and the fucking Buccaneers shouldn't have been in the playoffs. That's a goddamn fact.
Hang it up.
Fucking retire already, you fucking bum. Anyway.
You need to hang it up. He's the best quarterback to ever play the game, but you need to hang it up. Hang it the fuck up, Tom.
Fucking got he got a divorce. He got a divorce to get smacked by the Cowgirls in the fucking divisional round, or what was it, a wild card? Give me a fucking break. Anyway, I think that's it. We're talking too much.
All right, man. We out of here. Y'all stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace.
You've been listening to the Bromigos podcast.
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow. I beat him.